Always use the word Africa or darkness or safari in your title. Note that people means Africans who are not black. The people means black Africans. Never have a picture of a well-adjusted African.
An African lifestyle.
Welcome to Pan-African Lifestyle, where we rep the motherland. We post content regularly and invite you to subscribe and share. If you're a pal, that's a Pan-African Lifestyler.
How Not to Write About Africa by Binyavanga Wainaina. Always use the word Africa or darkness or safari in your title. Note that people means Africans who are not black. The people means black Africans. Never have a picture of a well-adjusted African on the cover of your book or in it, unless that African has won the Nobel Prize. An AK-47, prominent ribs, naked breasts. Use these. Throughout the book, adopt a subtle voice in conspiracy with the reader and a sad, I expected so much tone. Africa is to be pitied, to be pitied, to be pitied, worshipped or dominated. Whichever angle you take, be sure to leave the strong impression that without your intervention in your important book, Africa is doomed. Make sure you show how Africans have music and rhythm deep in their souls and eat things no other humans eat. Monkey brain is an African's cuisine of choice. Establish early on that your liberalism is impeccable. Africa is the only continent you can love because you care. Your African characters may include naked warriors, loyal servants, diviners, and seers. The modern African is a fat man who steals and works in the visa office, refusing to give work permits to qualified Westerners who really care about Africa. Or he is an Oxford-educated intellectual turned serial-killing politician in a Seville rose suit. You must always include the starving African who wanders the refugee camp nearly naked and waits for the benevolence of the West. She can have no past, no history. Such diversions ruin the dramatic moment. Your hero is you, a faux partage, or a beautiful, tragic international celebrity aristocrat who now cares for animals. If fiction, describe in detail mutilated genitals and dead bodies. Remember, any work you submit in which people look filthy and miserable will be referred to as the real Africa. Animals, on the other hand, must be treated as well-rounded, complex characters. They speak or grunt while tossing their manes proudly and have names, ambitions, and desires. Never, ever say anything negative about an elephant or a gorilla. Readers will be put off if you don't mention the light in Africa. The African sunset is a must. You also need a nightclub called Tropicana, where mercenaries, evil, nouveau rich, prostitutes, gorillas, and expats hang out. Always end your book with Nelson Mandela saying something about rainbows or renaissances, because you care.
The need for new narratives for the continent of Africa, it's certainly definitely needed. You know, after, 6th century of indoctrination of the continent, certainly it's inevitable that we're the first people. So if we're the first people, scientifically, historically, certainly if we talk to anybody, talk to the first people. Anyways, I can go on, but anyways, let's stop it. A narrative that is proper to Africans and certainly dignifying. And that we've been lacking that for, decades. For me, personally, it's left to what you have available. Don't forget, we're also trying to exist in a world where, the most universal instrument to tell stories, it's only in the white man's hands, and is where we go to movies, is where we pay attention to movies, is where we tell profound stories. And certainly America has, used it extensively well, and I think The continent of Africa definitely needs to have that leverage. You know, we got stories to tell. So much.
Since I've been in America, I've had this dream to champion the idea that it is important and it's imperative for the diaspora to know where they come from, to recall where the DNA is from. It is imperative that you know, we do this now, that Ghana is championing this idea of reconnecting and reconciliation and reconnecting with the diaspora. And I couldn't say any more than that. And this is exciting, and I'm proud to be a child of the continent and that is championing this idea as well.
The industry, obviously, it's doing well as a very bankable industry. But again, how do you secure the monetization of that industry? Again, we also need to find a way for the continent to distribute film on the international, on the international level. It's very difficult to, because then you're left with the only outlet, which is the Western distribution. And the Western distribution can pretty much shut you down. Also, for us to somewhat have a voice in ways we count our stories, we necessarily need to have a platform in which to distribute our films. If we have to rely on the West to distribute our films, then we're left to, they can dictate the pros and cons of what you're saying and what you want to, show out there. So it's inevitable for us to have the instrument for distribution.
Thanks for tuning in to Pan-African Lifestyle. Share your thoughts in the comments section and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Pan-African Lifestyle to be inspired. For awesome PAL merch, check out panafricanlifestyle.com/shop. Keep repping the motherland.
Pan-African Lifestyle.